Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, a glorious Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. Featuring today a 1 vs 1 on Semois. Yes, I do continue to keep looking for a 2 vs 2, but just so hard finding a good one with some really great and interesting play. Or at least something to comment on besides the usual teamwork and, try and flank. We shall be watching, in this case, Stallex. Fighting a I don't know, let's just say a Kampfgruppe from the 17th SS. Opposing him shall be Pfreestyler. Fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 1st Infantry Division. We're seeing an empty start out from Stallex. His name rather hinting at perhaps what he likes to play, stalling. That is, he plays more of a delay strategy, sort of tagging up to something else. Because we'll see if this is a prediction that turns out to be true and what he intends to stall with. But generally, if it's a Wehrmacht player, it tends to involve machine guns and the likes. So far, though, reasonably standard, except with this sort of deviation. Usually you'd see the infantry out first, infantry being the most mobile and tactically flexible unit there is in the game as such, can handle things offensively, defensively, and generally tends to have a much higher rate of survivability because, again, they do tend to have more members. First squad of infantry up there. Rifleman, a second MG42 is on the way for Stallex. Rifleman advancing up here, and interesting enough, Pfreestyler seems to be ignoring the initial strategic point, and we see this MG42 moving towards here. Could be he's moving up to counter this. I mean, there's some sort of, when you reach the high levels, and this is sort of level 16, there is some mental games going on, largely, predicting where is your opponent going, and then, of course, the usual patterns that might be on a map like this. And then countering, in this case, Stallex is highly counting on encountering something here. He might not have been expected rifleman, but something definitely. In this case, MG42 now nicely hidden behind the bridge walls or supports, whatever. Spots the rifleman, opens up with the MG42, suppresses and kills quite nicely, although Pfreestyler is able to secure the strategic point right there. We do see the MG42 pulling up. Second one moving out there, and we're seeing additional pioneers coming out. And in fact, Stallex now upgrading to 4 pioneer squads. So again, clearly some sort of stall strategy, intending apparently for the MG42s to set up in some strong points and then have the pioneers secure, take points and whatnot. Note, he's waiting with the MG42 here, sort of hoping to ambush someone, quickly popping in and then firing down, and the other MG42 taking up position in the church. Kampfkraft center going up as well now for Stallex. We'll be seeing some veterancy, considering his current unit composition, which is woefully short in infantry, by the way. He's probably going to go for support since it works for both. The unit he currently has, and of course, means support veterancy, which means elite armor at veterancy 2, which is reasonably cheaper than for infantry, but at the same time, you don't get quite the same power of infantry. And again, that's going to be probably what Pfreestyler, if he's going to do anything, he's going to hit him with proper infantry, attacking from numerous sides, rather taking advantage of the fact that Stallex will be rather weak in the mobile part of the game. Since he'll be relying on his pioneers, and they're just not going to cut it against an infantry squad. Even with veterancy 2, they're going to have some trouble. But he's wiring off as many approaches as possible, trying to limit Pfreestyler's movement. Nothing unusual there. And there we go, rushing straight into the MG42, and certainly noticing the amount of wiring he's doing is, of course, something I'd certainly recommend. But otherwise, I'd not recommend fully copying his trick unless you're quite aware of what you're going to get in for. And again, I'd always say, get some infantry out. Driving here, they're taking a bit of hitting. MG42, now with veterancy 1. The Pioneers also gaining veterancy 1. Lighter fighting up here. Pioneers getting flamethrowers, the Flammenwerfer. Resources here cut off. Looks like Pfreestyler is going to set up for another assault. Riflemen occupying the attention, basically a diversion for the MG42, while Pfreestyler pulls up for an assault on the building. Although the question is, of course, will Stallex just shift the gun? No, he isn't. The Riflemen are moving up. They're pulling into heavy cover, although there we go, setting up, and they could actually fire down here and enfilade. And there we go, the heavy cover does not apply because, again, heavy cover is directional. Pfreestyler made a bit of a slip there. Had he had grenades, of course, he might have rushed in. Now we see the riflemen moving up from the other side of the river, or the stream. One MG gunner down, one pioneer, and there we go, the pioneers moving up with flamethrowers. Sniping out on the way for Stallex. Engineers here not doing too well. MG moving up. Pioneers rushing forwards for the Vaterland. 17th SS Pioneer Battalion apparently being committed with a full company, with some MG support, probably from the Pioneer Heavy Company. Or platoon in this case, I suppose. Though Pioneer units weren't so heavy equipped with machine guns, I don't think they had snipers. But very much a strategy of stalling that's going on here from StarX. So definitely no case of false advertising. Riflemen are pushing up, trying to hunt down the Krauts. The Krauts have managed to get inside, and the Riflemen are now caught outside, but they do pop off a grenade on the MG crew, getting one poor bastard, and we do see StalleX vacating the premises. Pioneers now left behind to hold up the Americans. And the Pioneers are pushed off. They could even go down as more Riflemen move in. And there we go, Pioneer squad is down. Looks like StalleX might have been leapfrogging towards a Semois pin. More flamethrowers being equipped. Another sniper on the way for StalleX and another Pioneer. So again, very much stalling, very much hoping to drain out and delay Pfreestyler until he can get something heavier, something bigger. And of course, I mean, trick for now for Pfreestyler, of course, is to try and negate that, try to push you on aggressively and be mobile. He needs to be able to not slow down and basically, you know, take advantage of the fact that StalleX will not be able to react to any breakthroughs very well, because again, he'll largely have Pioneers, MGs and Snipers. Not very good when it comes to reacting to things and stabilizing things quickly. Or at least delaying.
Prepare for duty.
Rather moving up there, running into several Pioneers and the Sniper. Poor Hank went down. And the Sniper waiting by the cemetery. The Rifleman squad pulling back a bit. The Sniper is a bit of a problem. Pioneers making progress there. So far, though, I mean, pretty evenly divided map control. And of course, grenades does allow Pfreestyler some more mobility. It basically allows him to just run up, get off a grenade, possibly do some great damage to an MG if he plays his cards right. Pioneers take up position there, blocking position by the road, flamethrowers and all other sorts of highly incendiary goodness. And we're now seeing Veterans 2. That's going to mean that the Pioneers get elite armor and the MG42 crews also get elite armor, making them much tougher to deal with for the infantry, although the grenades will still be quite the threat. And of course the Pioneers, I mean, sure, they'll have elite armor, but they'll still be pretty much outgunned, which limits a bit the effectiveness overall. And now we do see a sniper out for Pfreestyler. We see the further push up here, the right hand side. Veterans 2 soon done. More forces arriving from Pfreestyler. Of course, Pfreestyler could also have gone for a mortar instead, but obviously he's trying to counter snipe StalleX snipers. And Pioneers up here running into trouble. Already a bit wounded. Sniper firing away. Troops getting suppressed. Pfreestyler Sniper staying very cautious. More flamethrowers going up for StalleX. And a bike coming out, perhaps. StalleX, of course, acknowledges that's probably going to be the most likely case, that his opponent gets a counter sniper. And we also, in fact, see a Jeep out for Pfreestyler. And I think actually the American sniper has snipers now. Both are aware of what's going on, but at the same time, both are ready. Because again, I mean, if you get two snipers, you're more than likely to attract a counter sniper. In particular, the Germans. And there we go. The Jeep is on the field. Looks like he might get the sniper. And the American sniper missed. I mean, he just shot some completely other guy. Does he even know what a sniper is? Who is he? Hank? Where did he get his sniper license? I mean, really? Jeep, though, heavily damaged. Rather than getting murdered. Sniper suppressed. And there we go, German bike moving up. But definitely a bit of a mistake there for Pfreestyler. Not quite working out. He did not get any of the German snipers. Quite tragic.
Do you need any construction? Com system in order.
Riflemen reinforcing. Germans, Pioneer unit are making progress. I mean, Pioneers in themselves were actually a combat unit. I mean, unlike American engineers, German Pioneers were in fact a bit of a divisional elite. They were assault troops, and they would usually hold the front, a part of the front, and their own in a full battalion. In fact, they had partly their own independent battalion within the division, but they also each infantry battalion had a company of pioneers attached to it as well. Recon run going in, and he gets an MG gunner. Now we do see the bike moving up. He's trying to get the American sniper. Bike charges in, gets right in front of 30 caliber, and the German sniper misses. And the bike goes down. A brave attempt by StarX, sadly in vain. Airborne doctrine chosen for StalleX. And now we do see a motor pool going up, supply it up as well. Another recon run. I think he's just playing mind games, or perhaps he's trying to figure out what's going on in StalleX space, and he's seen now a Sturm armory. Calling in some assault guns, possibly, some armoured cars, who knows. Mining going down there. StalleX hoping to, of course, pin him down fully there. And looks like Pfreestyler has him figured out. He's going to say, well, I'm not going to play that game, Mr. StalleX. Instead, I shall do what a good aggressive player does. I'm going to attack somewhere else. I'm going to attack somewhere differently, where you are not quite as prepared. That means this area. So, nicely shift there in offensive. Shift in axis of attack. Conducted right there by Pfreestyler. Going to attack StalleX, where he's considerably less prepared. Where he's going to be forcing his troops out of good positions towards less good positions, because they'll be running straight into the attack of Pfreestyler. Now being supported up by engineers, and there'll probably be an armoured car to follow up. So nice handling there, although I suppose he could have been trying to apply a bit more pressure earlier on towards this side of the map. But... and now we're seeing tank traps as well going down for StalleX. Again, very much a strategy dependent on slowing down his opponent and buying himself time. Actually, not an awful lot of mines. Engineers moving up there. But again, a nice shift, and we are going to be seeing StalleX now shifting forces away from here. After he's done laying down the Dragon's Teeth, as this type of tank traps were known. There was also, of course, the one we see for the Americans, which were called Czech Hedgehogs. Both sides generally used them. The Germans, in fact, used both types. More pioneers moving up. Flamethrowers in hand. Flammenwerfen coming under quite a bit of fun. Of course, snipers have an easy target with veteran 2 snipers. German sniper moving up. Pioneers squad down. Other pioneers moving up. And they could go down. So they reveal the American sniper on retreat go down. And StalleX fails to get the bastard. Another pioneer moves up. American sniper's up. And counter-sniped. Greyhound, though, is nearby and could spot the sniper. There we go. And completely guts the bagger with his 50 caliber, ending his German sniper life. Full retreat from the Americans, but on the other hand, StalleX has a big problem now. There's an armored car on the loose. He's lost a sniper, but we're seeing an officer, first the lieutenant, speeding up the production for the Vaterland and forcing out a Sturmgeschütz. Going to be a bit tricky. I mean, a Greyhound can outmaneuver a Stug if you're not careful. In the meanwhile, though, the Greyhound is causing absolute havoc. And again, we do see another problem of StalleX strategy. Again, partly a lack of anti-tank, as it's partly, again, he was so focused here, he absolutely completely forgot about this part, which is not good, but again, he can't react very well. And again, Stugs are rather dependent on having infantry support, even Volksgrenadiers, just to basically help a bit cover the flanks. That the Stug actually becomes considerably more vulnerable. And again, the Greyhound's not really having a lot of problems. And note how he's weaving behind the buildings and, you know, luring in the Stug before he then proceeds to move again. He's really ensuring that there's not so much coming out of the Stug. We now see the Lieutenant moving up, perhaps to take some territory. The Lieutenant actually being pretty good at taking territory. Stug, though, continues to move. BAR's now anti-tanking on the way. Good. Good response there from Pfreestyler. Greyhound moving away. Pioneers moving after. Stugolds moving out. Lieutenant in trouble, under fire. Remember, Herr Lieutenant, you are steel. Stug moving out. Takes a nice hit. And, of course, the officer, being German steel, is, of course, extremely tough. In particular, we can get some veterancy on him, in which case he becomes really tough. Though you rarely see that, but he does share infantry veterancy. And it's very rare that you actually see the Wehrmacht officer. It's not to say that he's completely useless, but he's a bit more of a specialized usage. He's actually more good in, you know, supporting other things, more particularly harassment missions. I mean, he can really basically skew things for the counterattack by basically forcing you one squad. So in some ways he can actually be pretty good, but he does require some technical usage. And there we go, anti-tanker moving up. Greyhound as well, Stuke taking a nasty hit, Rifle moving up as well. And sticky bombs as well from Pfreestyler. Sticky bombs. Pioneer takes a nice hit. Veterans run for the Greyhound. Lieutenant on the run. He did his best, but it was not enough. Mines going down now for Stallex. Again, he was a bit overconfident and completely forgetting about this part of the map. I'm missing Blitzkrieg actually coming up for Stallex, but again, no infantry. Absolutely no infantry, and had he had even the slightest of infantry, he could actually push up here nicely with the Pioneers and the Stug. Infantry is quite important. But again, so many players forget it. Gunner killed by the Stug. Sniper supporting, anti-tank and decrewed, leaving behind only the anti-tank, but of course also the rifleman with the sticky bombs. Stug moving up, but only at half health. Pioneers fighting bravely from the building. Grenade going in though, killing one Pioneer. Dual sticky bombs on the Sturmgeschütz. Could see it. Gone. Stu 42 though arrives. Pioneers fighting heroically, but they go down almost in a literal blaze of glory. Stu 42 comes into the fight and takes a direct hit. No veterancy for his assault guns. Not so well there. Sniper in a exposed position. And again, no infantry. Not even a single stormtrooper squad with a Panzerschreck. Or for that matter, some assault rifles. Again, he's lacking something to hold the entire thing together. Infantry should be considered your bread and butter of any army. Literally, they are the bread in any good sandwich as well. So, I mean, that way, again, you know, you can't really make anything without good bread. And again, you can't make a good army without infantry in company of heroes. You do really risk exposing yourself to a lot of nasty positions because, again, you're lacking something very much a core asset. And that is the, you know, infantry. Strong in many ways, flexible in many ways, more flexible than most people like to imagine. But there you go. And yes, my pardon for getting on the bread metaphor. I was sort of hoping I'd get off something a bit better than that, but sadly not. But I do hope you get the idea anyways. Again, infantry is really, really important. And again, that's what we are slowly seeing here. I mean, Stallex was able to actually stall and gain a nice advantage early on, but as you might have noticed, he's steadily losing ground because, again, he can't really push forwards. His Pioneers simply go down too quickly, and that means his offensives also lose steam very quickly, leaving his assault guns very much exposed. I mean, that's partly the part of it. Infantry can take more damage, more losses, and continue on further. And again, that's the problem for now with Stallex. He can't attack. He's constantly losing too much in the process. Mine spotted. Assault guns moving up. Slight hit there on the rifleman. And it's actually time for the mid-game analysis. Currently, the situation is a bit rough. I mean, Pfreestyler was a bit beaten back. He had a nice early start, but was quickly sort of forced back by Stallex. Stall strategy. Now he's making a comeback. He made a nice attack over here. And now Stallex having trouble holding back this assault. He's having trouble reacting to this, and he's having trouble counter-attacking through all of this because, again, his Pioneers, which are pretty much forced into being the main component of his army, can't resist this. They're two-man units, and even with the lead armor, they simply go down way too quickly. And even if they're sort of survivor fight, there's still one man which will quickly get pushed off. He simply lacks no force. He lacks boots on the ground, proper soldiers. He has the options, but he's not going for it. And really, if he wants to win this, I think he needs some infantry, some stormtroopers with Panzerschrecks and assault rifles. I mean, in this case, can actually push off Pfreestyler pretty successfully. Pfreestyler, of course, is a bit of a tenuous situation, but he's doing damage. He's putting back. And if he can force away this, I mean, he can pretty much sweep in through here and take the rest of the map. He could probably benefit from a bit more armor and some tank destroyers, just in case, because, I mean, most likely Stallex will eventually get a Tiger tank. In which case it will need a bit more than a single anti-tank gun and a Greyhound, despite however brave it is. So of course those are some of the things that need to be considered in this fight, and again, you need infantry. You absolutely need infantry. Because again, they tend to have more health, they tend to be tougher, and they tend to offer more firepower overall. Even if you think about it, oh, they don't have flamethrowers. Well, yeah, 4 or 5 guys with rifles, in particular the good rifles that Grenadiers and Stormtroopers have, can actually do damage throwing some grenades or assault rifles or LMGs, and you can actually do some damage to the infantry. But let's return to let's return to the fight. My pardons. Let us see how this evolves, as I said. MD, though, continuing to fire from the church. Nice blocking position there. Pushing up here. Assault guns are a bit exposed, and there we go. They're actually divided, partly because the Stug 4 is heavily damaged. Gunner killed on the Greyhound again. So many gunners just end up dying. Engineers following up with minesweepers. Riflemen suppressed by the church machine gun. Greyhound trying to outflank the Stug, and there we go, up behind it, blocking the path. Riflemen following. They're probably going trying to get off a sticky bomb. Pioneers doing what they can as well. And in fact, they're getting suppressed, probably from the riflemen's Browning automatically suppressive fire. Pioneer squad went down. There we go. Another loss for Stallex. Sticky bomb on the Stug. Good night. Veteran 22 for the rifle. Anti-tank are moving up. Stu 42 desperately trying to get out. And the small Pioneer force made progress up there. We do see the MD-42 shifting to try and contain the madness. The Stug on the run. Well, the Stug actually. Forces being dispatched to deal with the Pioneers up there, although Engineers probably won't quite cut it against Veteran 2 Pioneers. Looks like something might go up here in the base of Pfreestyler. There we go. Tank depot adding in a bit. And now going straight in for the MP grenades. Could get lobbed at the church through the stained glass windows and blowing up some cracks and possibly the altar. And there we go. One man down. Browning automatic actually dropped. That could be seized. Yeah, by the Americans as well. There we go. 3 BRs on that squad. Pioneers pushed way there. Engineers preparing the armored car. Stu moving up. Stug as well. And Lieutenant seems to be speeding up some snipers. Interesting. Oh dear, MG-42 caught off guard as well here. That could actually be very nasty. And looks like Pfreestyler's going to try and get him. No, he escapes. But Greyhound arrives and could get the bastard. Never mind. Rather than actually in the houses, Pioneers are moving up. That's actually considerably less good, since Pioneers do have with flames an advantage against infantry buildings. Sniper opens up, misses. And then we go advance up here, results in a mines head off, but actually no one killed. Impressive. 2 anti-tank guns now protecting the flank. Could actually open up quite nicely on the assault guns, but of course the Pioneers and the snipers, because Pfreestyler forgot to protect them with infantry. The Greyhound is rushed in to offer a shield there, but already they are getting sniped, and the Greyhound's focusing down the Pioneers. He needs the sniper. He needs the sniper dead, otherwise this will collapse completely. And it's just not working. The anti-tank guns are exposed. MG, not even fully reinforced, pushed into the church again. Anti-tank guns rendered lifeless and inert as the crew is dead. Stallex making a decent counterattack. We're seeing a Goliath rolling up as well. And another Browning automatic left behind. Nice little comeback there by Stallex. Take 2 times to have a look at him. My pardons. Engineers getting sniped again. Anti-tank gun recruited by Pioneers, but that's actually expensive. That's 120 manpower just for doing that. Again, if he had false guns, he could do this much cheaper and with more on it. Because again, it basically just requires a few shots, and oh my goodness, the crew is gone. That's 120 manpower wasted. And the Goliath just blew up. What on earth just happened there? I think he was intentionally blowing up the anti-tank gun to deny it. That's quite expensive. And we're seeing a tank destroyer now rolling up. Hellcat on the loose, on the prowl. Another Goliath arrives for him now. Instead of using it on manpower blitz, for example, some blitzkrieg, he's actually using a ton of munitions all of a sudden on Goliaths. Still not a single infantry unit out for him. Hellcat on fire. Gets the Stu though. Opening up for the infantry push forwards. And again, anti-tank gun recruit. But again, a few shots. And it's dead. Lieutenant receiving heavy fire. Stu down. Rifleman on fire. That's actually the sergeant. The Sarge on fire. No. And there we go. The lieutenant forcing a retreat on one of the squads, making things trying to at least make things easier, but probably not succeeding. Another Stu pulling up. Desperate fighting going on here. Greyhound ready once more. Rolls up and unleashes full fury on the lieutenant. No. Oh, a heroic death for the lieutenant, so mindlessly wasted by Stallex. He shall be remembered as a true hero of the fatherland. Greyhound in the meanwhile continuing to cause absolute chaos for Stallex, weaving in and out through the buildings, unleashing wrath upon the German troops. I think Pfreestyler needs to move up here and begin taking some territory back, some victory points he's slowly losing in that department. And there's a BAR still not secured by anyone. And the Greyhound actually got the troops inside the church. And the Stu 42 evicted them from the premises. Hellcat continuing and recruiting. Again, wasting another Pioneer squad on it. I mean, it would almost be cheaper just to use Stormtroopers, because again you'd actually have something with a bit more survivability, more than where it takes just a few shots to kill the entire bunch. It's just not economically sound, or strategically or tactically, unless he was actually desperate, but again, he never gets anything out of it. Whoa, both Hellcats actually went down. Well, that's impressive. Anti-tank gun trying to get the Greyhound, but looks like it's failing. Pioneers fighting a last stand from inside the house as rifles surround him. Burning out the windows, pouring fuel that's on fire onto the Americans, or whatever they actually used in flamethrowers. I actually don't know. I'm sure someone will actually know it and tell me in the comments, which of course it's great to have some history dedicated fans as well. Pioneer squad went down. Awful, awful. And again, Stallex is bleeding out. And he's just pushing out more Pioneers. Ever more Pioneers. And now we do see a Nebelwerfer out to support the Pioneer Battalion's assault. Hellcats, Riflemen, Engineers.
Sniper König here.
Cool, Achtung! We do see the anti-tanker now actually able to stop an American assault. The Pioneers wondering why they ever got into this. We also see the sniper moving about. Hellcats bounding through the territory. Oh no, the sniper! Quickly cloaks though hides, but that was bloody close. And Stallex looks to be close to a Tiger tank, but will it provide the salvation he so desperately wishes for? Still almost repaired, and there's a lot of stuff here to actually salvage for munitions for Stallex. So we could consider this. Veterans, you won 4 as armor and more Pioneer squads, just more and more. And a recon run giving Pfreestyler a good idea of his positions, where to strike, and such. Nebelwerfer moving up. And a strafing run, getting the anti-tank gun crew actually. And there we go. 120 manpower and 50 munitions wasted on the anti-tank gun by recruiting it with a flamethrower squad. It's just not working out for him. And it rather says something about the situation of StarX that he's willing to do so continually. Hellcat moving up. Anti-tank gun, oh dear. Rear rigs exposed, the crew very close to dying. Greyhound needs to be careful though. Healing going up on them. Greyhound take a direct hit. And the Hellcat gets a kill on the crew. Pioneers in the church though getting blasted. And there we go. Tiger prepared. The Tiger sind klar. And there's a large force arriving ready to hit the flank around here as well. And once more recruiting the anti-tank gun again. Dreadful stuff, dreadful stuff. Greyhound need repairs, 30 caliber and the 60mm mortar there. And another Goliath. Goliaths were not actually used for sort of blowing up units, they were actually meant for clearing out obstacles in a way, you know, remotely without having to expose people, you know, driving up. Oh, there's a roadblock, blow it up. I mean, usually a lot of the things here which are meant for demo charges, satchel charges, Goliaths actually end up being used in every attempt to just kill infantry. It rather says something about the player mentality, of course. There's a little fun fact there. I mean, if a player's ever faced with an obstacle, he never tries to sort of, well, mostly he doesn't try to blow it up with anything, like satchel charges or again, demo charges, or a Goliath. And for example, in this case, you know, satchel charge from airborne could easily clear this out, opening up another path. Another Hellcat moving up, rather than moving in there. MG finding away from the, well, remnants of the church. Hellcats advancing with a Greyhound for support and security. Thus, let's go look at Pfreestyler again. I said Pfreestyler, not Stallex. The anti-tank gun being moved forward. Another Goliath, and looks like the Tiger has arrived. But Stallex forces are heavily depleted. Pioneers are coming under fire. Pioneers being subjected to a fusillade of Hellcat fire. 76mm guns ring out. And there we go, Pioneer down. Anti-tank moving up slowly. Tiger moving up as well. And a strafing run here could possibly knock out the anti-tank gun crew. Hellcat taking a direct hit though. And there we go. Again, due to the nature of the anti-tank gun crews, again basically be Pioneers. Again, already wounded. 2 men. A strafing run can easily risk knocking it out. Ambush from the Hellcats, doing a bit of damage to the Tiger. Rolling out. No additional on the way though, but nonetheless, if they handle it well, they could knock out the Tiger. Sniper fires. Main gun destroyed. Greyhound adding in. While it might not be able to do something directly, it could still actually do something with a Greyhound mine. And there we go, getting up close. Laying down the Greyhound mine. Needs to be careful though. Engineer squad went down, but nonetheless, a destroyed engine on the Tiger tank. Sniper spotted. Could go down to the Greyhound. Rear armor hits on the Tiger. It's floundering about. It's got no support. No infantry with the Panzerix. No packs. No Stooks. No nothing. And there we go. The Tiger's lost. Pretty quickly and pretty soundly. Rockets going in, but overall limited that they can do. Another tank destroyer on the way, another Hellcat. It was apparently actually designed by actually listening to American tank destroyer crews and sort of asking, well, what did they want? And they basically apparently wanted a gun, and they wanted a good gun and wanted speed. Of course, the Americans did have something in a bigger category. Basically, that was the M36 Jackson or Slugger, which was basically, well, the same chassis as the M10, the Wolverine, with a 90mm gun, more or less. So, well, the same chassis as the Sherman. Really big gun, open turret though, and also a bit weaker armor, since it was some earlier versions of the Sherman. Engineers went down to the sniper, actually. A bit surprising. That Pfreestyler let that happen. Sniper making a run for it.
Enemy unit
and went down.
Germans are seizing territory.
But this is pretty much GG for Stallex. His stew is caught here between the cemetery and a house. Engine is on fire. He's got a Needwerfer. He's got a motley collection of Pioneers and an MG42, but he really has nothing that can strike or attack anymore. He's lacking in infantry, and his lack of infantry throughout the match has really hurt him. He can't mount a credible defense anymore. Another Tiger is called in. And there we go, another stew down. Tiger moves up. Pioneers doing what they can to support. And another Goliath rolls out. Ooh, Goliath spotted! Could get close. Oh! Hellcat out of control! But at the very same time, the Greyhound gets veterancy free. Bloody hell. Wonder what gutted that. Might have actually knocked out the Goliath, which knocked out his Hellcat. Oh, the irony. He gained veterancy at the expense of his comrades. He is Judas, Greyhound driver. Anyways, Tiger rolling about a bit. Oh, the Hellcat crushed the Pioneers. The good old candy in the Tretch trick. More Hellcats moving up, and the veterancy free Greyhound. And there we go, Stallex realizing he's lost the cause, retreats, and gets the devil out of there. But again, I really think this is rather a rather nice case in the whole, why you need infantry. Basically, the problem for Stallex was he didn't have anything to really hold all his support units together, nothing to keep them on the field once things shifted. And basically, that was really all it took to undermine Stallex. That was that Pfreestyler shifting the entire focus from here to here. Once that happened, Stallex became a lot less efficient. He lost a lot of Pioneers. He had to constantly force him out to get an anti-tank gun. Again, the whole way he was set up didn't really help him. He couldn't hold things together. He really needed infantry with either some Panzerx or even Panzerfaust to do something. His assault guns were exposed constantly. He couldn't protect their flanks from even a Greyhound. And it rather, just kept on snowballing, becoming bigger and bigger and bigger as more infantry basically kept killing and destroying, gaining veterancy. His snipers didn't do much either. He really needs some infantry. Even 2 infantry squads, like 2 stormtroopers, could have made a difference, but it never quite happened. Instead, a lot of manpower wasted, for example, on the anti-tank guns. I mean, it would have been cheaper for him in the end to just build one himself with a Krieg barracks. So really, some huge problems there for Stallex, and again, why I'd recommend always getting some infantry. Because again, it rather allowed, Pfreestyler to quickly shift things forward, and again, that's the strength of infantry. They are one of the most tactically flexible units in the game. They can shift from offensive to defensive. They can maneuver through most bases other units can't. And they can adapt by picking up weapons or getting upgrades. Really, one of the strongest units in the game. Yes, they're also squishy, but again, even a good tank can be squishy, and that's only going to be a lesson really learned in Company of Heroes 2. So this is Imperial Dane saying cheers. Hope you learned something from this match. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not provide some feedback in the comments? Never mind, do that anyways. What do you like about this match? Would you have done the same? And of course, feel free to follow me on Facebook or Twitter. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers to you all.